Good afternoon. On behalf of the St. Philip's Friends of Music, thank you for being here this afternoon for the final concert in our 2020-2021 season. It's been a difficult and challenging year in many respects for many of us. And in fact, last spring at this time, we didn't even know if this season would happen. It's only been through the very special efforts, including the wizardry and time and talent of some special people, that this concert season has been able to happen. I'd like to offer special thanks to Dr. Justin Apple, Chris Campbell, and Jonathan Sprinkle for making this possible. And to our donors, a very special thank you to you. We couldn't have done it without you. And finally, our performers, my goodness, without your flexibility and adaptability, we couldn't possibly have done this. As finally we start to see some light at the end of this pandemic darkness, today we have a special celebration in this concert. We're having Elena Galbraith, Marie Sierra, and Sandy Schwoebel bring us the language of love and laughter.
We'd like to welcome you to this virtual concert. This is Marie Sierra, this is Sandy Schwoebel, and I'm Elena Galbraith. We have been performing together for a long time, and we have found that we love all sorts of different music, and that's why there's a subtitle to this concert of Welcome to the Buffet. These first two songs, I think, are the only songs that we're doing in a foreign language. Oh no, the last song. There's a lot of music written in French, the Romantic period, particularly for flute, soprano, and piano. Chaminade, Saint-Saëns, Massenet, Gounod. These are pieces that you probably have never heard before. And I'll turn it over to Sandy to explain where she found this music and our interesting journey with this music. Sorry, catch you mid-drop.
As Elena said, we are always looking for new music. And it just so happens that the University of Arizona has the largest collection of flute music in the world. That's because it is the library for the National Flute Association. And publishers give their music to the association, which is then transferred to the University of Arizona and filed. Sometimes an older flutist passes away and gifts all of the music in their library. And this goes in as what we call a special collection. And for 5 years, I was the library liaison between the university and the National Flute Association. The librarian at the U of A allowed me to go into the special collections and look through things. So these are special boxes that the music's kept in, and I found music that is out of print that I thought, wow, this is really a wonderful piece. So we very carefully photocopied them, which is not against the law because they're out of print. And we started to work on them, and that's where these two pieces come from.
This next piece, À l'amour, there's a long flute introduction, and as usual, I always say she's either a shepherd or she is a bird. And I think in this one, she's not only a bird, but she's a butterfly, and she's the flowers. And there's no particular message in this next song. There's no big secret in this song. It is about butterflies visiting the flowers. It is about the roses. It is about butterfly nets. It's about nature in general.
And love.
And love, always. Sure.
Many people don't realize it, but the flute uses more air than any other instrument, including the tuba. Even though the tuba is so giant, and it's because when we create our sound, we blow across a hole. So that air is cut in half, and half of it goes to the flute and starts to spin to make the sound, and the other half just goes out the roof. So
That's why during COVID, we talked about who has the worst problem, singers or flutists, and actually flutists, it goes out.
it goes straight out. And through the flute and out through the holes and all kinds of stuff. But anyway, so we need to drink more water. Our next piece is called A Piper, and it's written by an English composer, Michael Head. Michael Head was born in 1900. His father was a lawyer, and his mother was a very accomplished amateur singer and pianist. And so he began taking lessons on piano and singing when he was 10 years old. But I think his mother probably gave him some little lessons before that. So he began to study at the Royal Academy of Music after he graduated from high school, but he was soon drafted for World War I. And while he was working in an ammunition factory, he wrote his first song cycle called Over the Rim of the Moon, and this became his first published work. Mind you, this is when he's about 19 years old. After the war was over, he resumed his studies and began winning awards for composition. One of the most amazing things about Michael Head, I think, is that he performed as a singer and he accompanied himself. He was quite famous for this.
Believe me, that's unusual.
Yes. And he eventually died in 1976. But most of his genre are songs. The Piper is a setting of a famous poem by Seamus O'Sullivan. And I get to be a piper.
You used to. The next set of songs is called Wit and Wonder, and actually the next two sets are going to be on poetry of Dorothy Parker. And I will, let me just first talk about this first set, which was written by William Bradley Roberts. And when I was here at St. Philip's, Bill was the music director here. Sandy also was here, played very often for the services, worked here. We knew Bill very well. Bill was a huge influence on my life as a singer and as a human being. That's just who he is. And at one point, sort of in just chatting, he said, you know, it'd be really great if you could write some songs for the trio. And you know how that is, you chat, you know, well, it actually happened. And it's just been a wonderful collaboration. And we threw out the idea of doing Dorothy Parker poetry, and both of us researched not only her poetry, sayings, her little quips, her writings. She is not only, she was a reviewer of movies, of plays, of literature. She wrote poetry, she wrote literature, but she was also a personality. She could drink anyone under the table. She could be cruel one minute and loving the next. Her romantic relationships were pretty much disastrous, and yet she would write poetry that could be 1 minute heart-wrenchingly beautiful, and the next could be hysterically funny, although maybe cruel. Much of her poetry is about bad relationships with men, but some is absolutely charming and beautiful, and I think we were drawn to this poetry, both Bill and I, and he wrote this beautiful set for us. The first one is Lullaby. There's a story, I believe, about this song that she wrote this about the acting of Audrey Hepburn? Katharine Hepburn.
She runs the gamut of emotion from A to B. I'd rather have a bottle in front of me than a fronted lock onto me.
Okay, we're going to use the program where more props are happening.
I'd like to have a martini, two at the very most. I'd like to have a martini, two at the very most. After three, on the table. After four, I'm under my host.
I wish you were here so we could hear you laugh. Is that what you said, Bill?
Thank you, Bill. Oh, we need to talk just a second about the three of us, because this isn't just a trio that's been put together on the spur of the moment. We have been together for probably 10 years. And the three of us, the way I look at it, and I'm sure the gals feel the same way, it starts with loving and caring and respecting each other as human beings. Then the second thing is that you love and respect and care about the talents that are up here and the skill and the hard work for what we do. And then the third is those two things go into the music. And we love each other very much as people. And our husbands do too. And we have dinner parties, which have become competitive cooking. And they have themes. I believe yours is next, and it's baking, and I'm working hard on what I'm going to bring. But anyway, I don't know if you'd like to talk a little bit about how we found Marie, or how you and I were together first.
I could do that, yes. I've known Elena now for close to 30 years.
Oh, geez.
I only know that because I know my son's age. And we performed together in St. Philip's many times, and we decided to have a trio. And we had a hard time finding an accompanist that really fit well. We had some that were very good for certain pieces, but it was nobody that really fit the ensemble in a sense, really. And one day we set up a sight reading session with another accompanist, and that accompanist called very late after Elena and I were already at the venue saying, oh, I can't make it. We thought, oh gosh, no, we do. And I said, well, people keep telling me about this Marie Sierra lady and how wonderful she is. And they gave me her phone number. I'm just going to call her and see if she wants to come sight read. So I called her, and she didn't know me from Adam. and I said, we're here and we're going to sight read. Would you like to come? We can pay you anything. And I don't know why, but she came. And it was from the first chord.
It was magical.
That we knew. It was magical. I don't think Marie knew anything. But we knew that first chord.
Yeah, so that is sort of how we've gotten together. We love to make music. We love to laugh. We love unusual music. We love 20th century music. We love doing music we've never seen before. And you're hearing a lot of that today. So thank you for being here. The next set is by Seymour. Oh, no, this is Vosk.
Yes, the next set is by Jay Vosk, which we are so pleased to bring this music to the public because Jay is a local composer. We've all met him at various times, and he found out about our trio and said to Elena, I think I would like to write something for you guys. And of course, we're very excited. And he's wonderful to work with, by the way. Nice guy.
Nice guy.
So they said to him, we really, really love the poetry of Dorothy Parker. So he selected these four. The most magical thing about these pieces, though, although we love Dorothy Parker, is the way that he treats the music. You can see the tone of the poem is complete in the music. For example, in One Perfect Rose, you can almost imagine that rose and the petals just barely opening into a beautiful rose, a perfect rose. And in The Passionate Freudian, who is someone speaking who's not altogether balanced, you can really feel it in the music. Puts you a little off kilter and quickly changes moods like someone in that state might do. And A Certain Lady, very different tone, more sensual. And the music also portrays that. And finally, in Poem in an American Manner, it's just an old-fashioned hoedown and a lot of fun. So thank you, Jay. We love playing the music.
I'm going to add one little thing, and that is that Marie sometimes doesn't get music that is as, let me put it this way, fulfilling for her. And this is a composer that really writes fabulous piano parts that really become part of the trio.
Absolutely. This set is only 4 years old.
Sweet hand, what Sits silent and lies. And when once you've learned what your fantasies mean, life will hold no more surprises.
Another really favorite composer of ours is Seymour Barab, who only passed several years ago, lived a very long and productive life. He was a church organist at the age of 13. He conducted his high school orchestra, and he studied cello, and after high school he was accepted into the Indianapolis Symphony, founder of the New Music Quartet, Composers Quartet, and which promoted a lot of performances of contemporary music. He is self-taught in composition. Most of the time, the words are written by him and the music. He has composed over 200 songs. In other words, I came to know him doing young audiences in Philadelphia so many years ago, where we did The Toy Shop and Little Red Riding Hood, and Kurt Vonnegut has a really great quote about him. He said he proved to an atheist that God exists. His music is just phenomenal. It's very accessible, very full of humor, which we really like. And much of this music, I'll bring it to her, is for clarinet. It's for a different instrument. And bless her heart, she goes, okay. And then she rewrites the whole thing to make it work for the flute, because these songs are so great. In addition to the one-act operas that are made for children, there's many pieces that he wrote that are just really wonderful songs. And like I said, he probably wrote more songs than any other composer in history. And here are just some of them, and we mixed two different sets together. So the first two are from one set, and Penny Scale is from another.
And it's true that I arranged the different parts for flute, but we actually got Barab's approval for our arrangements before he passed away.
Oh, yes. You should feel better. Words by Thomas Moore.
So it is
requires instruments and costumes. got it on backwards.
I don't get
One more song.
Our last song,
Yes.
we are going to end in another foreign language, Argentinian Spanish, which is a little different than regular Spanish.
The way I see it.
About 10 years ago, my husband and I traveled to Argentina and spent 5 weeks there dancing tango. And while I was there, I thought, well, you know, I'm really a flute player. I should see if anybody plays tango music on a flute, because tango orchestras are all strings and piano. So I found 2 flute players that played tango, and I had lessons with them, both of them. And the second one was a woman named Elena Galbraith, and she had just written a book about how to play tango music with flute. And so we became good friends, and the book comes with a CD. So she said, oh, do you like the playing on the CD? And I said, yes, I do. She said, that's my husband. So all of a sudden I got this idea. I thought, oh, so he arranged the music in his book. He could arrange some tangos for our trio. So we have 3 tangos arranged by This one is Malena. Malena is a song about a female tango singer. And nobody knows if Malena was a real person or not, but many singers have identified with her. And we hope you enjoy this version of Malena.
Apparently, singing the tango, she pours out her song. Tango is pain and sorrow of abandonment, so it's quite dramatic.
Elena cantata
Thank you.